What is this?
Love is in the air. Everywhere I look around. Love is in the air. Every sight and
What
every
the
sound.
hell?
Praying or upskirting? Hard to tell. It's a weird way to mark Valentine's Day, but not as weird as this.
It is.
My grandchildren and I painted some cards, Valentine cards, at the weekend, which we are going to be presenting to the men in the camp at Crowborough as a welcome.
What? You told literal children to write Valentine's Day cards? A cultural observance primarily devoted to expressing romantic love, and plan to give them to 20-something illegal migrant men as a...
Oh. What the fuck? Okay. Now, I'll be real. When I was a little kid, I got hella Valentine's Day card. But if you told me, hey, little Johnny, 5 years old, write this 28-year-old illegal immigrant how much you love them while they're in our country, while they have a drastically higher rate of committing pedophilia than a normal citizen. I just don't think that's a good idea, man. I feel like we're incentivizing people to maybe get their attention from the wrong places. Just my opinion.
welcome from the children. In the immediate aftermath of numerous cases of these very type of men preying on children, men from countries...
Yeah, probably not a good idea to send Valentine's Day cards from children to pedophiles. Probably not the greatest idea.
Where adult-child relationships of this nature are permitted. In a town where schoolgirls are already being followed around by these men. Yeah, I'm sure the parents who protested against these migrant men being dumped on their town are gonna love that. When Jim Ratcliffe dared to state what the majority of the British public are thinking, they all lost their tiny minds.
You can't afford, you can't have an economy with 9 million people on benefits and huge levels of immigrants coming in. I mean, the UK is being colonised. It's costing too much money.
Here's what I don't get. How come you can have black neighborhoods and it's fine, and Mexicans who want to live amongst Mexicans and it's fine, and Asians who want to live amongst Asians and it's fine, and Indians who want to live amongst Indians and it's fine, but if white people want to live amongst white people, they're racist, they're white supremacists, and they're worse than Hitler? Hey. You can be mad at me, but you can't tell me I'm lying. That shit is retarded.
It'll cause, well, the UK is being colonised by immigrants, really, isn't it?
Cue an absolutely hysterical astroturf moral panic, culminating in the Prime Minister himself demanding Ratcliffe apologise.
And the kind of language of being colonised by immigrants, you're talking about people who've come here to live, to work, to have families, as though they're a hostile, occupying force, taking away your language, your culture, your ability to survive.
Yes, it's incredibly racist to suggest that mass migration is a negative force that's demographically colonising the native population of England. We must just be imagining the ONS data, which shows that some areas of the country are down to just 5% native.
Holy shit! They're down to 5%? Oh my God. All right. Okay, we got to counteract this shit. To all of my white men and white women out there, find another white man or white woman and we need to start breeding right now. To take a great word from Ludwig, we need to up those numbers. Okay, white brothers, white sisters, 13 kids minimum. 13 kids minimum. We need to take back the UK. There's a war on white people, bro. They're fucking too fast. Get off porn. Okay, 13 kids minimum. Okay, we need to up those numbers. I'll lead by example.
Must be imagining the fact that our capital city went from being 97% white to 36% white in the space of 6 decades.
Oh
no
my
one's being
God.
colonised.
And the kind of language of being colonised by immigrants, as though they're a hostile, occupying force.
But let's just say it's a positive thing, and then suddenly it's not racist, it's something to be celebrated.
In London, the white British population has decreased by 600,000, while the minority population has increased by 1.2 million. So, yes, lads, we're winning.
Will the
What the fuck? Tell me she did not just say that. Holy shit. They're trying to outbreed us to make us extinct. Oh, I think the UK is way worse than I thought. Holy crap. Trump will save them? I don't think Trump doing shit for the UK. Canada's worse? Holy shit.
Will Ash Sarkar please stand up? Ratcliffe gets cancelled for using the word colonised. Yet they slap up posters on the London Underground celebrating how mass migration is achieving reverse colonisation. It's okay when they do it. You say colonisation. That's racist and it's not happening.
I mean, the population of the UK was 58 million in 2020. Now it's 70 million. That's 12 million people.
They say reverse colonisation. It's happening and it's a good thing.
Yes, lads, we're winning.
I think Jim Ratcliffe is a stinking hypocrite.
Takes one to know one.
He became a tax resident of Monaco. That's £4 billion that could have gone towards British schools. The British NHS could have gone towards British defence. Instead, he decided he wanted that money for his own pockets.
Yeah, the guy who up until 2020 was paying $100 million in tax every year. Then, in line with his values, decided to stop funding the colonisation of his own country. Yeah, he's the hypocrite, not the woman who claims it isn't happening while simultaneously celebrating it.
We're winning.
And shilling Londonistan merch.
You can't afford, you can't have an economy with 9 million people on benefits and huge levels of immigrants coming in.
Net fiscal contributions by ethnic groups completely validate his point.
If it wasn't for immigration, I think that Man United would have had about 3 of their starting 11 last night.
Without immigrants, Man U...
By the way, guys, talking about per capita and talking about statistics does not make you a racist. It makes you informed, okay? So pointing out statistics and pointing out per capita does not make you racist. It does not make you mean. It means you're telling the truth and people don't like it. And just because someone says they don't like what you're saying, it doesn't make it not true.
Starting lineup last night would have been 3 players and the bench would have consisted of just 2. Yeah.
Tell us about per capita. I will as soon as I get a Rumble contract. Absolutely.
Abdul, fresh off the boat from Afghanistan, straight into a free hotel with free healthcare, free iPhone and prepaid government debit card, makes the same contribution as a highly skilled multimillionaire Man United football player. They're now literally trying to defend mass migration by comparing it to importing a relatively tiny number of elite sportsmen on work visas.
What we would do without immigration from a footballing perspective. And all of the fans who talk about immigration, they love their foreign players.
This is even weaker than the diverse food argument.
He wants to talk about people who want to just come here and live and work and pay taxes costing us too much. Like, the man is a fucking devil.
Oh yes, just take a moment to observe all the hard-working, tax-paying contributors to society.
This is what freedom looks like. Bro, that's actually crazy, bro.
Destined, I'm sure, to go on to become...
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these videos of guys going to like parks and shit and recording and then them getting attacked by, well, you know, migrants. It's pretty insane, bro. It's pretty insane what's going on. Those numbers are staggering. From 97.5% white to 36% in like what, 6 decades? That's crazy, bro. That is crazy.
Top-end Premier League footballers. Sheer vehemence with which the regime rushed to vilify Ratcliffe, like him using a word was akin to a natural disaster,
Colonised.
was clearly intended as a threat to other prominent people not to speak out.
But the comments that he made yesterday were unacceptable. Our country benefits hugely from its diversity. So I would urge him to apologise for his offensive remarks.
As well as a pretty big tell that their diversity is our greatest strength, containment measure is wearing increasingly thin.
Because the population in 2000 was 58 million. The population in the UK is 70 million in 2025, which means we've had a 21% increase, 20 to 21% increase in our population. The population of Europe has gone from 728 million to 744 million, which means Europe as a continent has had a 2% increase in population. You then distill down the German population increase, the Italian, the Spanish, the French. No one has had a population explosion like we have. So to go to the sentiment about the population, irrespective of whether he said 2020 or 2000, he is right. The population explosion, however it's manifested itself, has created a strain on this country. Politicians are weaponized.
Yeah, I think going and gaining 14 million people in the span of 6 years, probably a little bit hard on the economic system of another country. That's fucking absurd.
This content and using it for their own ends, right? But the reality of it is the premise of what he's saying is fundamentally correct. We have a welfare state which has 9 million people on it, which cannot continue. We have an immigration policy which is not working. And we have a societal change and shift at pace and demographics, which is changing the face of this country, and people don't like it. And the politicians are too cowardly to do anything about it. And
Yeah, of course, because if you say anything about it, you're racist. If you say anything about it, you're a big meanie. When you point out actual issues in your country, well, that's not very liberal to do. Oh, well, what are we doing here, man? That's not very nice. Like, okay, listen, we can be nice and we can let everybody do everything, and we can do that at the cost of our own country. Or we can tell people what they need to fucking hear, and that the country's gonna fucking explode if they gain 14 million more people in 6 years. That's insane.
Starmer and the other politicians like Ed Davey are just weaponizing this content because it deflects from their inadequacies and ineptitude.
Leftists are still gaslighting everyone by claiming that the arrival of 6 million foreign nationals to the UK since 2020 alone is something that indigenous Brits welcomed.
This idea from the far right that actually what is going on is either an invasion or a colonization removes that agency. It removes that power. It suggests that immigration is something that is being done unto us, to us, rather than something that we are elected to do.
Yeah, who did we elect to impose mass migration on us? Every time we're asked, we vote against it, yet they keep imposing it on us anyway.
It suggests that a foreign power is taking and...
How many of y'all live in the UK right now? I am curious. Me. Damn, we got a lot of motherfuckers in the UK. Yeah, we actually got a very, I think like, what, 40% of our channel is actually from like over there? How many of y'all like what's going on with y'all's country right now? I am curious. That's a staggering number, man. That's a 16 million. 16 million increase since 2020. What is it, from 59 mil to 74 mil? That's fucking insane. Yeah, didn't y'all do like the biggest protest of all time the other day about that shit? Yeah, no, that's fucking terrible, bro. That's horrible.
Control and settling in Britain and dominating, displacing, or...
Unfortunately, like, y'all's country's like not gonna fix itself because your government's too worried about being nice and being pussies rather than doing what's best for its people. So you're like low-key fucked. Yeah. Yep. That's a shame, bro. Yeah, y'all are fucked. I don't really think there's anything getting better, bro. Because everybody's worried about like looking like a good person rather than doing what's right for the world. And welcome to the dilemma of being a content creator. It's the same thing. You're gayer? Well, maybe.
Exploiting the indigenous population and imposing their culture and language on us.
Yeah, no one's imposing their language on us, are they, Lewis?
You look at parts of London, for example.
Yeah, I bet a lot of y'all in the UK are getting tilted when you see people shitting on ice, because I bet y'all wish y'all had them. I bet y'all wish you had ice. Hey, you know I'm right. Yes, aware, I know. Yep. Yes, sir. Send them to us? Yeah, we will, man. We want Trump and EU. We'll send them right now, man.
Where the road names, the underground signs, aren't just in English, they're in a foreign language as well. 1 million people living in this country don't speak any English at all.
I'm gonna make this very clear. If you live in the United States, if you live in the UK, your signs should all be in English. There is no need for any other language. If you migrate to the United States and if you migrate to the United Kingdoms, you should be required to learn English. It's very simple. You want to know why? Because we would do the same thing if we went to y'all's country. And that's a goddamn fact. Okay? Speak English, motherfucker. It's very simple.
4 million people living in this country barely speak passable English. And that's the point that he was making. that big areas of our towns and cities have been changed into something completely different to what they were.
We've had more immigration to this country in the last 25 years than in the last 2,000 years combined.
Oh my God. Holy fuck. It's like a raid boss timer, man. Like they all coordinate at the same time. Bro, that is a staggering statistic. I bet you're racist if you pointed out, right?
A group of people move to a country en masse and say, for the purposes of this discussion, it is to be understood that we wish to operate as a large collective in this country with rules that don't sit well with the existing legal status quo. But you know what? You can't do anything about it because this is our law. What you are dealing with, de facto, is colonization.
Yes, the government take, so they must act. So they must act. And if it be the case that the prospective pattern of the population of this country is such that this country would not be a place worth living in, or a city capable of being governed for all who live in it, then it is the duty of those in authority, I'm going to complete the sentence, or that it is the duty of those in authority to take measures accordingly. And those measures,
what
since they are in the interest of all,
Jesus! Asian, by the way. That's crazy, bro. Those numbers are fucked.
Measures.
That shit's happening so fast, too.
Which ought to claim the support of all, and for which the support of all ought to be.
Like, listen, like, this is kind of like communism, right? Like, communism sounds really, really, really good when you're a kid. You know, like, oh, everybody gets everything the same. Oh, that's great. Until you realize it would never work because corruption exists. You understand? Right? Like, a little kid's not going to understand corruption from the higher ups, right? Like, communism would work, but it won't because corruption exists. And it's kind of the same thing with mass migration, right? Like, yeah, it would be nice if everybody could live in peace with everybody. But the problem is that when people come in and then they don't migrate successfully, and then they refuse to speak the language, they refuse to follow the culture of what is in these fucking zones, well, everything becomes a fucking free-for-all and it becomes a fucking pandemonium and the lines are blurred and everything just becomes a fucking mess. Like, it sounds really good in theory. You know, I bet a third grader would think that communism and everybody living in peace would be great, but the reality is that people are different and cultures are different, and if people aren't migrating properly, and if they're not playing ball, if they're not willing to speak English, right, if they're not willing to write their signs in English, well, it's just really not that good, now is it?
Sought, and I believe would be forthcoming.
Meanwhile, on the continent, things are also feeling a bit colonizing.
Ora andremo con Maya un po' in giro per la stazione e vedremo se ci sono ancora quelle persone che danno fastidio e che importunano le ragazze.
You don't need a crystal ball to see where this one's going.
Yep.
No, grazie.
Jesus.
Excuse me.
Che bella!
Jesus, man. Is this Britain? Where is this fucking Britain, bro? Holy shit. This is Italy? Bro, no, that's crazy, bro. Fuck, Jesus.
Sì, sicuro io. Sì, sicuro io. Come si fa?
Anche tu bello, va? Tutti i biceps.
It's crazy because I can't even tell what country I'm looking at, bro. That's what's nuts. That's what's fucking insane, man. Like, I can't tell if this is Britain, Canada, or fucking Somalia, or India. I legit cannot tell.
No, no.
Vuoi qualcosa?
No, no, grazie. No, no. 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 Basta, niente. Basta.
Now, to be fair, there probably were some natives in there, maybe one or two, but otherwise it's definitely not helping the stereotype.
Allora Maya, com'è andata questa passeggiata? Come ti sei sentita?
Colonized. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please.
That was a great fucking video, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, damn, bro. I think people are starting to notice what's going on, and I don't think a lot of people like it, bro. Kind of a rough watch, not gonna lie. Very eye-opening.